Joining me now, actor, author, director Kevin Sorbo. Obviously doesn't need any introduction from me. Kevin, cancel culture. It's all the rage these days. This guy should be fired. This guy had a tweet I didn't like when he was 12 years old. This guy had an email. This guy had a... tell me your experience with it.
Well, I got a permanent ban from LinkedIn recently, and I had Facebook took me down about 9 months ago for posting the truth. You know what's funny about Facebook? The stuff they took me down for, I can say today. But back then, you couldn't talk anything about mask wearing or, hey, there's a 99.7% chance of recovery if you get COVID. But this is amazing. Look, I started losing jobs about 3 years ago. I mean, I was supposed to do an autograph show up in Thunder Bay, Ontario, in Canada. And then they found out, a couple of Native American Canadians found out that I said, hey, if you come across the border and you want to live in America, just do it legally like everybody else. But apparently that was a horrible thing to say. So it freaked out the people there and they canceled. So they're able to make you and I lose work now. I want to meet these people that are so amazingly perfect, that have led completely sinless lives. They're like the most perfect people in the world, that they can go after me, because we need to learn from these people how to be as amazing as they are.
Okay, LinkedIn is just that thing that sends you 1,000 emails every day. So-and-so looked at your... What did you do on LinkedIn?
I think I posted a story about a woman who said she killed her dog because her dog had COVID and didn't want the COVID being spread to her family. And I said, can you believe this? I hope this is not a true story. But that was enough for them to say that you can't post that. And they took me down.
Good grief.
Yep.
All right, well, I mean, look, obviously you're a Hollywood guy, or that's how everyone knows you. Everyone grew up, well, at least I did, watching Hercules on TV. It's Kevin Sorbo. Surely this has cost you some serious acting gigs in Hollywood, your stances on things.
Oh, no question. No question about it. Oh, there's Lucy Lawless. I gave her career. Anyway, it was interesting to find out from my agent and manager about a dozen years ago when they said, we can't work with you anymore because of the things that you were saying. And I go, what do you mean the things that I'm saying? Well, you're Christian, you're conservative. And I went, wow, you guys are the ones that scream for tolerance and freedom of speech. But as we know, Jesse, that's a one-way street in Hollywood, and it's a one-way street for most liberals, really, which is amazing to me. And look what they're doing to our country right now. I mean, they want to turn us into the Soviet Union circa 1950. It's really, it's just quite sad what's going on. People are ignorant, they're uneducated, and I think they're just stupid.
Kevin, I hear from people on the right, and they say this a lot. A lot of people are guilty of this. Well, no one cares what the actor thinks. No one cares about the movies. I actually don't agree with it. I think entertainment is a critical part of every culture, whether it's Roman plays or our movies today. I think it's an important part of how we give our values out. I grew up, I watched John Wayne movies with my dad. You can love that or hate that. It was good guy fighting bad guy, bravery, good versus evil. That's the theme I grew up with. They're not putting out movies like that a lot anymore. When did that change?
I think the 1960s changed things a lot. I think the Vietnam War, the free love, the hippie movement, all those kind of things combined really started changing. We didn't have a rating system for movies until the 60s. It was always like a G or a PG without being said it was a G or PG. But things got, movies got more violence, so PG-13 happened and R happened. And, that sort of changed things quite a bit. And what's amazing to me is that Hollywood started out pretty conservative. The Warner Brothers, Warner Studio, that was a conservative group of guys that started that whole industry. But the 60s definitely changed things along. And it's just gotten worse. I mean, you see what's on TV now. Back in the 1950s, Walt Disney said that television and movies will influence our youth. And boy, has it influenced our youth. Because you see the movies coming out of Hollywood over the last 20 years for sure. Violence, hatred, divisiveness, all this stuff is going out there. I do movies that have the opposite. I do movies that have hope, redemption, faith, love, laughter, things that Hollywood's not doing. Andrew Breitbart said it, right? Politics is downstream from culture. Who runs the culture? Hollywood and the mainstream media. Of course they do. And Hollywood, trust me, has a hold on Washington, D.C., as we all know they do. And I'm just trying to do movies that have more positive influence and say that, life can be great. Life is a choice if you want to be miserable the rest of your life. And I'm trying to do movies that show people that, hey, why don't we have movies that we can relate to? Spider-Man's great, but it's 60% visual effects. It's a roller coaster ride. You don't care about the people. I watched Avengers. 12 buildings just came down in New York City. 2 million people died, but nobody talks about that, you know? So it's just weird. It's just weird what's going on there right now, but they're going to keep pumping out those movies. I'm going to keep doing the movies I do to try to fight that culture that they're trying to destroy.
Hey, thanks so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me.